Basically, we received a tip on Saturday in regards to possible homemade explosive materials that were at a residence off of Cove Road in Morristown. We then spoke to those folks. We went, had the police, our officers go on scene. They saw what they thought was the material. We contacted State Police Bomb Unit, who responded out and confirmed that it was explosive material, which they took off that location to a nearby public works area and detonated that explosive material. We identified who the individual was that brought that material there. He was involved with a group that was trying to put together some fireworks. He just kind of brought his material over to try and help the situation or help them build what they were trying to build, which really wasn't fireworks, is what we found out, but he brought over that material to the Cove Road. Then we went to, after detonating the material at Cove Road, we then went to his residence on East Oak in Morristown. At that point, based on a search warrant, we were able to go in and located that he had a lab in the basement that had additional explosive material. So that was then removed. Because of the volatility of that material, it was detonated on scene in their backyard. So at that point, we cleared the area prior to detonating, obviously, and then was able to get that scene secured. We had FBI was involved, the Joint Terrorism Task Force. They took samples of the explosive materials in order to test, to try and identify specifically where it came from and how this person came to get this. So right now, the investigation is ongoing. So we have still multiple areas that we're checking into to make sure that there's no further issues with material in town. We do know that he doesn't, there was no targeted person, targeted area based on social media scrub, as well as nothing in material at his home that showed that he was angry or a target, anyone was targeted. So that's kind of where we're at this point. So you take a few questions, but with the investigation ongoing, we don't want to jeopardize anything and put too much out there in regards. But there's no threat to anything right now that we can identify or anyone. We did have 2 schools checked, the high school and the upper elementary, with bomb dogs. No issues there, and that's where we're kind of at this point.
He's 17, correct? The suspect is 17. So that changes the dynamics here. If he was 18, would it be a little bit different right now?
Yes, he was 17 when he made the material. Apparently he turned 18 on Saturday.
And now?
It's up to the prosecutor's office to make that decision as to whether they go with this individual as an adult or as a juvenile.
So you mentioned one of the other kids might have said something about, oh, well, we're making fireworks, but then when you found and figured out what the materials were, so you think they were making fireworks or they were not? This was something else?
It was a science project that they were doing, and so we don't have all the specifics on that yet, but they weren't doing anything that would be in any way criminal. It dealt with school project, and this individual came over with material thinking he was going to help them with their project.
So does this change the scope of the investigation?
Again, that's a question for the prosecutor's office. Our target is the individual and criminal charges against him. The scope of the investigation, depends on what comes back from the labs.
And you
Where is the
mentioned that
suspect
there's
right now?
several people that were involved. So are you looking just at one person, or
Yes.
everyone else is ruled out?
Correct.
Where is the suspect now?
He is not available. The feds are tracking him now, and they're keeping us abreast.
Is he out of the country?
We're not sure.
His parents, where are they?
They're at their residence.
Are they also being investigated?
No, not at this point.
So is he a fugitive? Are you actively looking for him to be for arrest? Would you call him a fugitive?
We're working with the federal authorities on that right now to see how they want to handle it. Again, it all depends on the lab results.
You said you searched 2 schools, the high school and the other, he went to the high school.
The upper elementary.
He went to the high school though?
Yes.
Okay.
He was a senior.
Senior.
Is a senior.
Parents have no idea what was happening in the basement?
It didn't sound like it.
Are they facing any charges, or is that
Not at
based
this
on-
point.
Are they cooperating with authorities?
Yes.
Did he know that you guys were looking into him? Is that why he's on the, or you don't know if he's on the run?
We don't know if he's on the run.
Does he have a passport?
Yes.
Okay, is there a reason to believe that he already got on a plane and went somewhere?
We're still waiting for the feds to give us that information. They're tracking him.
So basically, I'm a little confused how we should word this. So you went in thinking it was fireworks, and then now it's.
He went in to assist with the science project with the group of kids from the high school, that he offered his expertise, if you want to call it expertise. But he had material that he was going to assist with, There was a few detonations in the backyard at Cove Road with his material, but he left that material there, as well as some other products in the garage. And that's when we went back. That initiated when we found that initiated this whole investigation at
What
that
kind
point.
of materials? Could you buy this at like how easy was it to like obtain all these materials?
That's, again, we don't know the specific type yet, because what the Joint Terrorism Task Force told us is wait till the lab tells us, then we'll know better in regards to whether this is something you can get online, whether it's something he built, he made himself through a mixture of things. So we don't know that information at this point.
Has the school confirmed that there was some science project going on that would involve explosives?
The detectives are working with them now.
But at no point, you said there were no threats, but we had heard from some people that he had planned to bring something to school, but is that not?
No,
you
that's
didn't
not,
have
that's
that?
not accurate.
So, obviously, these kids are about to graduate. 4th of July is now less than a month away. I've seen signs in New Jersey, you can buy fireworks in like convenience stores now. So, is there reason to believe that anybody can just make this kind of stuff and explosive devices in their home? And what's the rule on that?
Pat,
The-
before you respond, can you put the paper down? You're kind of messing with the
Oh.
audio. Thank you.
This never became a device. It was just material, okay, that was volatile. So it was no physical device. So the material itself, if activated, would detonate. So, the bomb unit, confirmed that for us. But as to the fireworks and can you get something from the fireworks to create something bigger, that's not in my strike zone. I would have to ask, the bomb tech folks on that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a much more gray area now that fireworks are legal to buy at lots of stores. I mean,
Right.
they're legal in Pennsylvania to a greater extent, but I see that in New Jersey you can buy smaller devices now, which I'm assuming that makes it even a little bit more difficult and murky if they go on the fact, say, oh, well, we were making fireworks, we weren't doing anything nefarious.
Correct.
I just have one more question. When you said that when you went into the home and served the search warrant and there was a bomb-making area, I mean, how extensive was this?
It was a pretty decent-sized lab in the basement with, a setup and all that. So, it was something that the bomb tech said it was not a normal type of home lab.
And at this moment, you can't say like that he would use it for something to cause harm or?
It was, again, there was nobody targeted thus far in our investigation, what we've uncovered. No location targeted. It wasn't any type of emails or memos that he was angry with something and he was going to do something. So that never has come up yet. So the investigation is still continuing. However, at this point, we're pretty confident that there are no threats out there in regards to what this individual did and the material that he had. I think we have it all.
Will you be
Which-
identifying him anytime soon?
Since he's 18 now, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's up to the prosecutor's office. So
and I think we all have his name at this point, so.
I'm sure.
So he is 18, so when he, it's kind of I'm sorry, but another gray area for us reporting as well. If he's a minor, we don't report his name, but if he's 18, it's, you know, he's an adult, and if he's going to be charged. What would the charges be?
I'll rely on you on that.
I think it was like a false public alarm. That was one of them. I'm not sure what the other
It
one
was
was.
a public alarm, false public alarm, and then there was something about the material. That was
Correct.
Is he facing any federal charges?
not at this point. The FBI task force, they're just kind of monitoring and waiting for the lab results. If it looks like something that is significant or along those lines, then they may take over the investigation, but as of right now, it's our investigation with the prosecutor's office.
So and the other kids, they're not involved because this kid was just called over to help with their science project, not his own science project?
Correct.
Okay.
Who would be involved in bringing him back into the country if he has in fact left the country?
That's probably the counterterrorism task force.
Would you say he's sort of a enthusiast or a hobbyist when it comes to these explosives? Is that what it looked like?
We don't know what his total background is yet because we just started delving into it with him. So that's still under investigation.
Is there a chance he's charged with nothing?
No.
The Cove Road incident, was that at a house or in a yard, you know, where they came together with
It was at a
stuff?
residence in the backyard.
Okay.
Okay, and then we were able to, the bomb techs were able to get all that material, take it around the corner off of Creek Road where we have a public works yard, and we dug a hole. They dug a hole and detonated that material.
What made police respond? Was it a tip call or was it?
It was a student that was there at Cove Road and told her uncle, who was a police officer, who then contacted us. So we're fortunate that came in.
Pretty brave of a teenager, you know, it's not always easy when you're with a group of friends that are doing something that you know is wrong, you know?
No, she gets a lot of credit.
Did she tell the police department because she was scared, concerned? Like, what was her?
I think she just, as a matter of conversation with her uncle, it came up, and I guess he probably prodded more questions, and then knew that something was amiss, and then it's when he contacted us.
How much explosives or IED are we talking about? Something that could detonate a house? Are we talking about a quantity that was very dangerous? Or, I mean, obviously the town was on alarm, the township was on alarm throughout the weekend when they found out about this, but are we talking about a significant amount here?
I don't have that information, and that would be, the bomb techs handled that from state police. They would be better to say whether or not, you know, but anything explosive in a basement, you know, can certainly create a problem for that house. The material on Cove Road was in the backyard, though. So,
The school still in session?
yes, graduation is June 19th.
Was he supposed to graduate? He was, I didn't know.
That's
he
our
was- he was,
understanding,
yeah.
yes.
And sorry if I missed this earlier, but what were the two schools that were searched and why were they searched?
Morristown High School and Upper Elementary, and that was based on the request from the superintendent.
And the materials that he got, you said you weren't sure where he got them from, but are you looking into deliveries? Because the house,
Yeah, they got a FedEx delivery while we were there.
is it possible to get more charges for that, or?
We'll see. Again, it's an ongoing investigation in regards to how he was able to obtain this material.
Yeah, just letting you guys know. FedEx dropped off a package while we were there. Could be anything.
I'm sure FedEx dropped a package off of my house too. Along Amazon, along with, you know.
All right, just saying.
I know.
You had the search warrant, so.
So, all right. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.